Coming up on the Cross the Middle show, we have the Jets could be forced to do Hard Knocks, and we have Nick Bosa is on the cusp of being the highest paid defender in NFL history. We're going to get down right to it with the Jets. It sounds like the Jets are going to be forced to do Hard Knocks. Remember, they don't want to do Hard Knocks. They're reluctant to do it. They feel like they have the team to compete. They feel like a Super Bowl is within reach. So the last thing they want to deal with is the distractions that come with, doing the show. So they don't want to do Hard Knocks, but it sounds like the league is going to force them to do that. And I actually think it's smart by the league because I think there's a story there to tell when it comes to the Jets, just because you got Aaron Rodgers, you have Alan Lazard, you have Randall Cobb all coming from the Packers. I think there's enough storylines there to keep the audience engaged because remember, Hard Knocks has been getting a little stale recently. I know there's some bright spots there with the Lions, with Aiden Hutchinson singing Billie Jean, singing Michael Jackson. Still, I think the show needs to do a little bit better of, getting back to engaging the audience. I think the Jets story with all of the storylines they have there is a good story to tell with, Aaron Rodgers having this big change in his career, playing for a new team for the first time in his career, going from Wisconsin to New York, being in the Big Apple with the media they have there. I think it's smart to do the Jets because if you tap into that New York media and you get everybody excited about the season, they could really help the Jets out, really help the Jets get back on track in terms of being an organization that is respected. They've always had, a good following because of the Jets, but they haven't been very successful. I think this is going to be the year where they have a real shot at success. You have Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, 4-time MVP winner, a guy that's anxious to get another crack at it with a new team. I'm excited to see how that plays out. I think, Mecole Hardman could be a good storyline too. He's with the Jets now too. So there's just too much there to pass up for the league. And it's smart on the league's behalf because now they're going to get the audience that they want. They're going to make Hard Knocks fresh again by making the Jets do it. Yeah, it's tough for the Jets because they want to focus on football. They want to win. And sometimes when you have to focus on doing this television show too, it's tough to do both. It doesn't always work out. Some teams have used it to kind of catapult them to new heights. The Browns actually did a good job of getting better after Hard Knocks. The Lions are another success story from Hard Knocks. That's the route the Jets have to go with it if they want to be successful after Hard Knocks. Otherwise, we've seen in the past it's caused teams to just flop because, it does take a lot of focus. It is something they have to worry about, another responsibility they have to worry about, I guess you can say. So that's the way things seem to be heading with Hard Knocks. It sounds like it's going to be the Jets. They're going to be forced to do it. I know, like I said, they're not happy, but, from a ratings perspective, from the audience's perspective, we want to see the Jets. I can tell you that. The Jets are exciting. They completely transformed their team this offseason. There's so many good things going for them. I just think the Jets are a good choice for the league, despite the fact that the Jets are not happy at all about it. It is what it is. Sometimes it's business. And in the National Football League, you have to do things for the media. You have to do things for coverage. You don't get those big salaries if you don't take care of the media, if you don't give media coverage, if you don't look out for things in terms of ratings and just making sure that you get exposure on your brand, and not only the brand as a league, but these teams, the Jets in particular, if they end up doing Hard Knocks. You have to get exposure and you have to bring in new viewers if you want those salaries to keep growing. So you can't have it both ways. You can't say, hey, we're not going to do this and then demand a higher salary, because the reason that these salaries are getting bigger and bigger is because they do things for the media. They do these shows like Hard Knocks that keeps fans engaged and makes for compelling storylines where people want to watch these games because you feel a connection to the players after Hard Knocks, after seeing everything they're going through camp, how they deal with their teammates, the fun that they have. You can feel a connection to the team and to the players. Like I said, that was what the Browns and the Jets did well. We'll see if, or excuse me, that's what the Browns and the Lions did well. We'll see if the Jets can do the same thing. The next story we have is it sounds like Nick Bosa is going to be the highest paid player in defensive history. So he's going to be the highest paid defender of all time. And it sounds like Nick Bosa is going to get this deal done soon. Good for Nick Bosa, a guy that's absolutely dominated the National Football League, a guy that's a freak of nature coming off the edge for the 49ers. Just big play after big play. Really a guy that's almost to the point where you cannot block him. You can't block Nick Bosa. You better put a tight end over there who stays home. You better put the running back on that side to double with him with the tight end. And still, Nick Bosa can still disrupt the game because he's that good of a football player. He's just unstoppable coming off that edge. Well, now it sounds like he's going to be the highest paid player, the highest paid defender in NFL history, I should say, which is well deserved for Nick Bosa when you think about how good he's been since he came into the league. I mean, I was kind of wondering, is this younger Bosa brother going to be better than Joey Bosa? Guess what? Nick Bosa is better than Joey Bosa. It's just the reality of the situation. Then, I watched Nick Bosa at Ohio State. I saw him at the beginning of his time at Ohio State, and I was wondering, can he be better than Joey Bosa? Then I seen, him wrap up his career at Ohio State, and I was kind of like, okay, this guy is like the second coming of J.J. Watt. That's how dominant he is. Yeah, they play a little bit differently. I think J.J. Watt's a little bulkier, where Nick Bosa's a little faster, but still, you could see that, and the way they dominate, it was very similar. Well, Nick Bosa goes on to surpass Joey Bosa. Nick Bosa ends up being one of the top defenders in the whole league. Now he's on the cusp of being the highest paid defender in NFL history, which is for Nick Bosa well deserved because he's been a big part of transforming that 49ers team into a perennial powerhouse to the point where they dominate every single year. They're always in the hunt for the Super Bowl because Nick Bosa is dominating, taking on double teams every single game, making everybody around him better, still finding a way to get to the quarterback. I mean, the quarterback's always under pressure when you play against Nick Bosa, and the way he can just physically manhandle offensive tackles, because remember, offensive tackles are bigger than Nick Bosa, but yet he still manhandles them. The fact that he's able to do that just shows how overpowering Nick Bosa is, because offensive tackles are over 300 pounds. Nick Bosa is not 300 pounds, and yet he can throw these guys on the ground and ragdoll these guys that are bigger than him like it's a walk in the park. You just don't see guys that are that physically dominant. He's got the speed too off the edge. So he can do it both ways. He can bull rush you. He can beat you with his speed around the edge and get a nice dip as he's going around the corner. It's amazing. It's amazing to watch Nick Bosa get to work. I'm excited for him. I think he deserves to be the highest paid defender in NFL history. I think he's going to carry the torch well in terms of being the highest paid defender in NFL history. I don't think the 49ers have anything to worry about after they pay him. Some guys you pay and then they take a step backwards. Look at Albert Haynesworth. He gets all that money and was never the same player. You see that all the time with players. You don't have to worry about that with Nick Bosa. He's probably one of the safest pays you can have. You can pay him and you're going to be totally safe because he's going to come out and keep dominating. The only thing you have to worry about with Nick Bosa, does he get hurt and miss a year? But it doesn't even matter because those next 3 years he comes back, he's going to absolutely dominate. That's just who Nick Bosa is. He's not anywhere close to slowing down yet. He's still getting better, actually. I mean, like I said, there's nothing to worry about if you're the 49ers. You just write a blank check, you give him what he wants, you keep him happy, and you don't have to worry about anything because he's going to keep dominating the National Football League, one of the most dominant players we have in the NFL. There's no stopping Nick Bosa, and it's not stopping anytime soon. That's just the reality of the situation. So I think the 49ers are smart for opening up the checkbook for Nick Bosa. It's going to get done here soon. So keep an eye out for that. I'm John Kuzma, though. That's all I got for the Cross the Middle show. Check us out wherever podcasts are found. I appreciate it. Have a great day.